luckily like that worked. We were able to like get it tighter and made it home fine, but that was like the most nerve-wracking I've ever been.
Happy birthday to you. Look at everything.
Look at us.
Does he have the big party?
Okay.
This is pretty special. So we can pass this along into the generations. Right?
I know so much more about fish after this party than I ever did before this.
Yeah.
So we're still at the fish party setting up, but we figured this would be a good time to announce some news. Hi, I'm Callie.
And I'm Dan.
And we're Northern Urbanity Events. Follow along as we help create memorable celebrations.
And through our work, we hope to inspire others to bring their vision to life at home.
We are at Freddie's first birthday. It is an officially won first birthday theme, so it is all fishing themes. It is everything you would see at a lake or a boat. We've got bobbers, we've got tackle boxes, we've got the canoes, the fishing boats. It's going to be so fun. We've got about 10 staff here today. It is about 100 degrees here in Minnesota. We are sweaty, we are dying, but we're going to give off lake-like vibes and cool ourselves down with the ambiance. Okay, so the boat was like the hardest part, I think, in sourcing for this party because one, boats are giant. Our trailer is like 12 feet long and all of these boats were like so far away. And I needed a canoe to turn into the dessert table. And I also needed just a normal like metal fishing boat to turn into the cooler for the beverages. And we eventually found a canoe that was in our price point. So like we didn't need it to be a nice canoe because it doesn't need to float on the water.
It doesn't need to function.
Yeah, so I got this canoe on Facebook Marketplace all the way in Wisconsin. It was $20 because it's got like a bunch of cracks and holes. It's not gonna float. And we put it on top of our Lexus with like these little canoe pads apparently that you can get on Amazon for like $30. And so Dan and my brother Cullen drove all the way to go pick it up. But the boys put it on the roof of our car.
Barely.
What
And it was huge. Like, so you were originally looking for what, like a 10-foot canoe?
Yeah,
like a
those don't
12-foot canoe?
exist.
So this is like a 20-foot canoe, right? I don't know. It
like
was
17 or 18, yeah, massive.
It was huge. So anyways, yeah, we go all the way out to Hudson, which is like an hour and a half from here. And with this like unopened Amazon package, right? It's like a canoe rooftop kit. Neither one of us have ever put a canoe or anything like on the top of the roof besides like
big outdoors people.
Yeah. So driving back to the highway, it's like the canoe's wiggling a little bit, but we're like, okay, this is like, it's safe, secure. It's not like, I expected it to be like bouncing up and down. And I was like, okay, we got to the highway, it was fine, it didn't move, it didn't obviously blow off. But then we get on the highway, and sure enough, one of the blocks goes flying off behind us. Then all of a sudden the canoe started bouncing and wiggling, and we're like, nope, this is not gonna work. So luckily there was an exit like right after we got on, so we pulled off, went into like Target parking lot, and just like locked it down as hard as we could. And luckily like that worked. We were able to like get it tighter and made it home fine, but that was like the most nerve-wracking I've ever been. Yeah, we got pretty lucky that it just like tied down tighter, but
yeah,
that was quite an adventure.
All right, so my favorite part of doing these grand parties is trying to make the most like custom and on-themed party favor to go with it. So for Freddie, every kid gets to go home with a tackle box. And they've got these cute little bobber tags, and inside is like every sort of like fish treat that you would be able to find at the store. But I've put it in your tackle box as part of like your bait. So we've got worms and goldfish and Swedish fish and a couple little bobbers. I love the idea of each kid getting to take home a tackle box because our daughter Lennon loves anything that she can put like a knick-knack or like carry around snacks in. Like she loves it. And I'm like, okay, all these kids are gonna be between the age like 1 and 6. If our daughter is like a spokesperson for young children, she would love a tackle box. And so we filled it with all these snacks, and we've been calling them snackle boxes. And so we filled it with like all like the types of like goldfish and Swedish fish and like bobbers and just like cute little like on-brand themed snacks for these kids to have and enjoy, and could put their other party favors in, or cookies or cake pops that they got from the party. And then we also had the different types of lake fish in the ball pit. Yeah. And so that also doubled as a party favorite. It was like a decor and a party favorite, because the kids would like go down this water slide and go into like this pool or this lake of fish. And it was like all fish that you would find here in Minnesota in the lakes, like northern pikes, bass, walleye, sturgeon. I know so much more about fish after this party than I ever did before this.
Yeah. The bait bar.
The bait bar was so fun. It was a self-serve bait bar. Like if you were to go to one of those like old gas stations on your way up north to run in real quick and pick your bait out of like the live well. Am I saying all these terms right?
Yeah, doing great.
Dan grew up fishing with his family. Me, not so much. And so you could have your little bait cup with the logo on it, and you'd scoop your worms and your fish. We also had like turtles and frogs.
And there were like little rocks.
And
too,
rocks
right? Like
too,
rock
yeah.
candies. Yeah.
Typically we give ourselves 4 hours for that size setup if it's an indoor event. But with outdoor, there's the elements like the heat, like the wind. And so we gave ourselves about 7 hours for that setup so that we can kind of take our time, nobody overheats, take lots of water breaks. And so I think that helped. It was still completely exhausting to do that setup with that heat, but being able to like take fan breaks and take water breaks, I think really helped. We're from Minnesota and we're not used to the 100-degree like direct sunlight humidity. It's been like super rainy this year too. And so like it was just so humid, which did impact like the install of the balloons too, because when our balloons get hot and humid, they stick together. Similar to like if you were to go to a restaurant and sit down in a booth, your bare legs are on like the pleather booth, and then when you leave and you go to peel yourself away from it, it's like that same thing with balloons, like they're stuck together. And so if you need to like manipulate or twist, they're gonna pop much easier. And we buy the highest quality balloons on the market and we still have that issue. So I can't imagine if someone was doing an install that same weekend with balloons from like Amazon, because they wouldn't have made it to the party. And so I think if you do have to spend some money somewhere, it would be on the balloons, because the more money you spend typically with that higher end product, it's going to last longer. So we got really lucky that our balloons still fared well with that humidity, because once they meld together and you have to move it, you're causing some risk there.
And for someone who doesn't know like the tier quality of balloons, what are some brands and or like companies you would recommend using?
Okay, so brands that I really like are Tuftex and Calisan. I love the colors they offer, and I also love the quality and the fact that they are biodegradable. Being biodegradable is super important to me. I do recognize that these balloons are used 1 to 3 times. I really try to, if the client doesn't want to keep the balloons for themselves, I do try to donate them to someone else. I post them on my Instagram for other people to come and pick them up. I want to give these balloons a second home. Even though they are biodegradable, I still want to reduce, reuse, recycle wherever I can.
Oh, you're gross and sweaty.
Me.
Ugh.
My hand won't ever be able to come out of your back again. It's like melded to it. All right. So we're still at the fish party setting up, but we figured this would be a good time to announce some news. This really cool thing about Dan is that he's an incredible girl dad.
Just setting it up.
So much so that he wanted to do it again.
Callie will be having a girl in January. So we're going to be welcoming a third addition to our family.
Girl gang.
Girl gang.
Don't do that again.
Okay.
Girl gang.
It's always weird because it's like you're excited to find that out and like nervous at the same time. And yeah, ended up finding out it's a girl. Sorry, long story, not short, but
So you got your preference?
yeah. So we're gonna have 3 girls, and that's exciting. And no, I don't think we're gonna try and have a boy. I know everyone's like, they're always like,
Are you
oh,
trying to
dads
have a
want a boy. That is probably definitely not the case. So girls are the best. But little boys are also
We're
sweet
happy
too.
for whatever
They're
you
just-
have, but we want girls.
Yes, there's a lot of very nice, sweet boys in Lennon's class and Palmer's class, but they're also very crazy.
Dan was meant for the manicure, pedicure, pretty princess tea party life.
Yeah.
And I got all these ornamental grasses from Home Depot because they look kind of like what I would envision as like on the side of a lake. When you're in a backyard and you've got all these like fun like props and you're trying to really tie in a theme, I really wanted to like make it feel full and like you were at the lake. And so we did get a bunch of plants from Home Depot, sponsor.
Gotta get that sponsor.
And we did use all of the grasses and like they were like, it just like gave you like that wind blown effect of like the overgrown, like path less traveled vibe. Not a big fisher girl. I had to Google a lot of these fishing terms for this party. Like tackle boxes and types of fish. I didn't know before this. I got this tackle box off Facebook Marketplace and I'm gonna lay cookies in it. And then this is another tackle box. This one's very vintage and I've put moss in it. And when the cake pop vendor gets here, we're gonna stick the cake pops inside of here and they're shaped like bobbers. It's gonna be so cute, I can't wait to show you. Anyone can do like a plain circle cake pop, but like having it like be a bobber shape and like put it into the tackle box. We found a few vintage tackle boxes again off Facebook Marketplace to like make it look more like earthy and used, and like this theme like had existed in this family for a long time and wasn't just like everything was brand new and shiny. We wanted it to feel like this was part of their heritage, because it was. Was really big and important to the family. And so all the cookies were displayed in like cute little old tackle boxes, and so were the cake pops, and we had like moss everywhere, so it felt overgrown.
Here we go. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Randy. Happy birthday to you. Look at everything. Is he having a big party? Ooh, what's this? We have lemonade for everybody. Cool. What's over here?
Look at this stuff.
Look at this. Let's catch some fish. We're gonna catch some fish. It's fishing. It says fishing. You going fishing? It's a good thing those things are on ice for the hot day. This is gonna be
It's a bouncy house.
What's this?
Where's the bouncy house? Yeah.
What's this? Ooh, it's a big one. It's bouncy. Bouncy, 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 bouncy.
Look at this one.
Cool. Then here we go. You ready? Should we go in? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Are you in with the fishes? Look at all the fishes. Look at all the fishes. Look at all the fishes.
I know what to do
We
there.
love these.
Yeah.
Look, there's a tackle box. Oh,
Yeah.
Bobber.
So I heard about it on Instagram. I follow a couple of local kind of party planners and saw photos of the events that Kelly had done and was really impressed. And it's like, all right, we should have her do our Freddie's first birthday.
Yeah.
So that's how we found her.
They were all very unique and fun and
Yeah.
surprising, like the way the theme was portrayed. So
Yeah.
we were really excited
Yeah.
that we could make something like this happen about fishing.
Yeah.
My dad, I'm the oldest of 3 boys, and my dad grew up fishing with all of us from when we were his age. So he passed a couple years ago. So this is pretty special. So we can pass this along into the generations, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So to be able to celebrate and share this with everybody and that we care about and love
Yeah.
in a unique way and share what we can afford to share, it's really special. So and Freddie gets to learn about it one day through photos and
Yeah.
stories, but
Yeah.
yeah. But we're gonna have fun today, aren't we? We have lots of fun. Yes.
I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. I like the fishing theme because the grandpa that's in heaven was the fisherman. So this is wonderful.
A lot of the things that we do at Northern Urbanity, the cost of the product isn't the most expensive part. It's the labor and the sourcing and the research that goes into it is the service that you're mostly paying for with us, because all of that stuff that we do takes a lot of time. But if someone wanted to recreate this fish party for themselves, everyone has the same resources I do.
Right.
And so it's just the time and the availability and the foam pads for the canoe to do it.
Yes. Get better foam pads though.